All right, y'all. So in this video, I want to talk about what is called the accounting equation. So in the world of accounting, right here I have assets minus liabilities equal equity. In accounting, it will really be assets equals liabilities plus equity. But anyway, I reversed it so it'll make more sense to you guys if you never took accounting, right? So I wanted to bring this up because accounting applies to our personal finances, as well as our business finances. So most people just think accounting applies to just if you have a business, but that's not necessarily true. You want to think of yourself as a walking business. Everybody is pretty much a business. You personally, you're pretty much a business. Even your country, like the United States, for instance, they see us as pretty much like um a business. It's all a business. We're like the employees of the United States. If you live in the United States or whatever country you're from, so you have to think of yourself as a business. Everything we do in life, at least in this world, in this society, is based around business. Really, most of us, the majority of your life, you either go to work or you have your own business. So it all revolves around money, getting money to live your life and to make your life better. So anyway, let's get into it. So right here I have the assets column. So assets is anything from you having a personal business or any investments, stocks, real estate, crypto, YouTube videos, art, anything that brings you money. Basically, anything that produces money for you, produces income for you, that will be your asset. Then I have minus liabilities. The reason I have minus is because the liabilities take away from your assets, right? So liabilities would be a car, your rent or your mortgage, your phone, any memberships, food, school loans, credit card interest, any of those things. Now, some of these things can be turned into assets, so it all depends on how you use them, right? But for the most part, for the majority of people, these are going to be liabilities. And then the last column you have equity. So equity would just be your cash, any cash after you pay your liabilities, any cash remaining, any home value remaining, any investments value, any gold/silver you may have. You may have some chains or bracelets, anything like that. That's still equity. Any kind of antiques. And then anything else that has value that you possess. So, um, so assets, you want to have as many assets as possible because that's how you're going to increase your equity. And then you want to decrease as many liabilities as you can because that's going to take away from your equity. It's going to take away from your assets, and overall, it's going to take away from your equity. So, in the world of accounting, again, the account equation is assets equal liabilities plus equity, but I just rearranged it for you guys to understand better. So you have to start thinking in this mind frame. You have to start thinking, okay, I need to get as many assets as possible. Don't go out there and get all these liabilities or any expenses because you're taking away from your personal assets or your personal equity. So this is just the game of life. Like this is the equation of life. You know, it's a simple, it's simple, but I think everybody should be aware of this because everybody is not knowledgeable of, this equation. It's really simple. So it's all about how you're gonna go about your life. Are you gonna get as many assets as you can, or are you gonna go out there and get a bunch of liabilities that's ultimately gonna take away from your assets and then overall your equity? So this is what life is about. This equation right here. Everybody in the world right now is pretty much living their life. Almost everybody. I'm not gonna say everybody. You got people living off grid and stuff like that don't care about business and having a lot of money and stuff like that. But most people are living by this equation right here, or they're not living by this equation, but they live in this world that's based on this equation, even though they may not be living or following this equation or whatnot. But their life still revolves around this equation right here, this simple equation right here. So every day you wake up, you want to try to get as many assets as possible. Get you a personal business, any investments, stocks, real estate, crypto, even a YouTube video. Because a YouTube video, every time you post that video, every time somebody watches it, it's probably gonna, if you have it monetized, it's gonna generate revenue for you. So that's an asset. And then you have art and anything else, that's an asset. And then liabilities, you don't want to have some, an expensive car or a big rent or mortgage. Now that with this though, a mortgage is depending on how you go about it. A mortgage can be an asset for you. To be honest, a mortgage can actually be an asset for you. It kind of depends, right? And then you got phone memberships, food, school loans, credit card interest. But again, any of these things can be turned into an asset. You may use your car if you have I think they call it an eToro business, where you can rent your car. You can rent your personal car or whatever, or a car that you bought on your own. You can use that as an asset. It can generate revenue for you, generate income for you. Same thing with a phone. You might need a phone to make calls for your business or whatever. So all of these things can be an asset. And then you have things like cars. Like if you have a luxury car, some luxury cars, I know that they actually can appreciate in value. Sometimes they can actually appreciate in value for you. So it all depends. Some of these things, it kind of depends. But ultimately, yeah, you want to live by this equation pretty much right here. It's very simple. Get as many assets as you can, basically. And even a job is, it's kind of an asset too. It's not working for you, but you're still it's bringing income. So even a job, really, and you want to keep your liabilities as low as possible, unless your liabilities are producing income for you, which would then be an asset, right? And then after all that is said and done, this is your equity. This will be your equity. So every time you look up like, oh, what's this celebrity's net worth or whatever, this is what they're talking about. All of their assets minus their liabilities, and then whatever else is left. That's the equity. So I just wanted to introduce this simple accounting equation, and this is a prime example of how accounting is not just for business use. It's also for personal use as well. So yeah, so keep this equation in mind, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.